The slave market of Station Vec 7 buzzed with its usual chaos, dozens of alien languages overlapping into a constant, unpleasant roar. Chains clinked. Energy fields crackled. Credits changed hands. Aiden stood still among it all. He kept his face neutral, his posture loose, his eyes cool. Showing interest here only raised prices. Showing emotion invited trouble. Back again. Human, hissed the Krillix merchant, his scaled jaw splitting into something resembling a grin. Looking for cheap labor? Aiden shrugged, hands tucked into the pockets of his worn leather jacket. Just browsing. Then he saw her. Cage 17. She stood nearly 7 feet tall, her body covered in iridescent crimson scales that shimmered under the station lights. Massive wings folded tightly against her back, bound by blue energy restraints that crackled with quiet menace. Her golden eyes met his and didn't flinch. Something about that stare rooted him in place. A Drari warrior, the merchant said, noticing his attention. From the legendary cohort. Worth a fortune. He leaned closer and lowered his voice. Damaged goods. Neural link to her battle mech was severed. No use for war. Aiden stepped closer to the cage. Up close, he could see the scars etched across her scales, old, precise, earned. She gripped the bars with clawed hands, knuckles pale beneath the red. Human, she said softly. Please. By us, Aiden blinked. Us? She shifted aside. In the shadows sat a smaller figure, a girl no more than 16. Same crimson scales. Smaller wings pulled tight around her shoulders. Her golden eyes were wide with fear, cheeks streaked with tears. My sister, the warrior said. Ava, she has never fought. Never harmed anyone. They will separate us at the next auction. She be sent to the pleasure districts of Zephan Prime. Aiden's jaw tightened. He knew what happened there. Everyone did. What's your name? He asked quietly. Cheer, she replied. Formerly of the Third Wing, Dragon Cohort of Drar Prime. Pride flickered in her eyes despite the chains. And you think a human freight hauler can help you? Aiden asked. I think you might, Cheer said. Ava found her voice, barely above a whisper. We've heard stories. Humans don't see property. They see people. Aiden let out a humorless laugh. Kid, humans aren't heroes. But you're here, Cheer said, lowering herself to one knee so her eyes were level with his. A Drari warrior kneeling was unheard of. Aiden knew enough history to feel the weight of it. I have something to offer, she said. Coordinates. A pre-invasion cache discovered by my cohort. Technology worth billions. Illegal tech, Aiden replied flatly. So is slavery in human space, Cheer said. Yet here you stand unarmed in a slave market. She wasn't wrong. Aiden studied them, the proud warrior reduced to pleading, the terrified girl clinging to her sister. He thought of his own sister, lost years ago in a war that shattered humanity across the stars. He thought of all the promises he'd made to survive by staying uninvolved. And he thought about what she'd say if she could see him. Now, damn it, he muttered. 20 minutes later, and every credit he owned gone. Aiden walked toward the docking bay, a datapad in hand declaring ownership of 2 Drari females. The merchant hadn't even haggled. The human's desperation had been obvious. Cheer walked beside him, energy restraints removed, but her posture still tense. Ava clung to her arm, wings twitching at every unfamiliar sound. My ship's not much, Aiden warned as they approached a battered freighter. And I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. You freed us, Cheer said. That is enough. I bought you, Aiden replied. Legally, you're still slaves. Then free us properly, Ava said suddenly, fierceness breaking through her fear. We'll work. We'll help. Just don't send us back. Aiden stopped at the ramp. Here's the deal, he said. I don't believe in ownership. Once we reach Coalition space, I'll file emancipation papers. Until then, your crew. Cheer, you look like you can handle security. Ava, you're about to learn ship life. Communal meals. Tight quarters. No lying. Both Drari nodded, hope glinting in their eyes as they boarded. Cir placed a clawed hand on Aiden's shoulder. Why did you really buy us? Aiden stared out into the star-filled void. Because someone once told me humanity's greatest strength isn't tech or numbers, he said quietly. It's that we believe people deserve second chances. Even when it's stupid. Even when it costs us everything. Your people must be remarkable, Cheer said. We're idiots, Aiden replied with a tired smile. But we try. As the freighter lifted away from the station, none of them noticed the merchant watching. Already transmitting a coded message. The galaxy was about to learn what happened when you threatened someone a human decided to protect. The freighter cleared Station Vex 7 without incident. Its engines humming softly as the stars stretched into lines. Aiden didn't relax until the station vanished behind them. Swallowed by the void. Cir stood near the cockpit bulkhead, wings tucked tight, eyes alert. Ava sat cross-legged on the floor, staring at the stars through the viewport as if afraid they might disappear. Aiden broke the silence. We're 3 jumps from Coalition space. If anyone's coming after us, they'll try before the border. Cheer nodded. The merchant will not let this go. Members of my cohort are valuable. Aiden snorted. Yeah, humans tend to have that effect on people who like owning others. He didn't mention the uneasy feeling crawling up his spine. It came sooner than he expected. The proximity alarm screamed as a ship tore out of hyperspace behind them, sleek, angular, armed to the teeth. Unknown vessel locking weapons, the console warned. Aiden swore. So much for subtle. Cheer moved instantly, muscles coiling as if she were back on a battlefield. That ship belongs to a contract hunter. Likely hired to retrieve us. Retrieve, Ava whispered. Like cargo. Aiden glanced at her. Not today. He slammed the freighter into a hard evasive burn. The old ship groaned, alarms flaring as plasma bolts screamed past their hull. They're faster, Aiden said. But they're expecting me to run. Cheer tilted her head. Then do not. Aiden grinned, sharp and dangerous. Exactly. He cut the engines. The sudden silence threw the pursuing ship off balance. In the vacuum between stars, the freighter drifted dead and powerless. What are you doing? Ava gasped. Being human, Aiden said. He rerouted emergency power manually, bypassing safety protocols that most species wouldn't dare touch. The freighter's hidden maneuvering thrusters fired in an uneven burst, slingshotting them sideways, just as the hunter ship overshot their position. Cheer's eyes widened. That maneuver violates about 12 engineering laws, Aiden said. But it works. The hunter ship spun hard, shields flaring. Aiden used the moment to bring up a weapons panel so outdated it barely qualified as military tech. Cir stepped beside him. If you are going to fight, let me. You're still injured, Aiden said. I am Drari, she replied. Injury is a suggestion. She moved to the rear ramp before he could argue. Ava, Aiden said quickly, stay here. No matter what. Ava nodded, gripping a pipe like a weapon, eyes fierce despite her fear. The hunter docked violently, grappling clamps biting into the freighter's hull. The airlock screamed as it was forced open. Armed figures poured in, mercenaries in black armor. Weapons raised. Cir met them head-on. She moved like fire given form. Chains still marked her wrists, but nothing in her stance said slave. She ripped a rifle from the first attacker and crushed it against the wall, wings unfurling in a blast of crimson and gold. Aiden fired from behind cover. Shots precise, disabling rather than killing. He wasn't a soldier, but war had taught humanity efficiency. Fall back. One mercenary shouted, Too late. Cheer slammed the last attacker into the deck, clawed foot pinning his chest. Her eyes burned. "Tell your employer," she growled, "that Drari do not return to chains." Aiden leaned over the downed mercenary. "And tell him something else." He pressed the barrel of his pistol gently against the helmet. "Humans don't like it when you threaten our crew." The mercenaries retreated, severing the docking clamps and fleeing into hyperspace without another shot. Silence returned. Ava ran to Cheer, hugging her fiercely. "You're alive." Cheer closed her wings around her sister. "So are you." Aiden exhaled shakily, adrenaline fading. His hands trembled just a little. "That," he said, "was way above my pay grade." Cheer looked at him with something new in her expression, not gratitude. Not awe. Respect. When they finally crossed into Coalition space, the station authorities were waiting. Emancipation documents were filed. Biometric scans confirmed Drari sentience and rights. Just like that. The chains were gone, legally, permanently. Later, standing on the freighter's ramp, Cheer faced Aiden once more. "You could have sold us," she said. "Or fled, or turned us in." "Yeah," Aiden replied. "But then I wouldn't be able to live with myself." She went to one knee again, but this time, not in submission. "In Drari culture," she said, "we choose our leaders. I would follow you, human. Not as property. As pack." Ava stepped forward. "Me too." Aiden swallowed hard. "Well," he said, forcing a smile, "guess I just accidentally became responsible for 2 legendary dragon warriors." Cheer smiled faintly. "The galaxy will recover." As the freighter turned toward open space, 3 figures stood side by side, no longer slave and buyer, warrior and civilian. Human and alien, just a pack, and somewhere far behind them, very powerful people were realizing they had made a terrible mistake.